Trump hails Golden Age in State of the Union as voters sour on economy. Germany wants deeper, fairer economic cooperation with China, Merz tells Chinese Premier Li. Trump's speech, divorced from economic reality, says Labour Union. Narendra Modi to be first Indian PM to address Israeli parliament. Trump says US received over 80 barrels of Venezuela oil. US President Donald Trump has used his State of the Union address to declare what he called a, quote, golden age of America, as he faces falling approval ratings and growing voter frustration ahead of November's midterm elections. In the opening part of his televised speech to Congress, Trump focused heavily on the economy, responding to concerns from Republican lawmakers worried about losing their congressional majority. He claimed his administration had slowed inflation, pushed stock markets to record highs, cut taxes, and reduced prescription drug prices. However, it remains unclear whether the message will ease public anger over the rising cost of living. Trump blamed high prices on his Democratic predecessor Joe Biden, but opinion polls suggest many voters hold Trump responsible for failing to tackle affordability after campaigning strongly on the issue. Our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before, Trump said, as Republicans in Congress applauded. Many Democratic seats were empty, with several lawmakers choosing instead to attend protests outside the Capitol. Germany and China have agreed to deepen cooperation, as German Chancellor Friedrich Merz met Chinese Premier Li Qiang in Beijing on Wednesday. The talks marked the start of Merz's first visit to China and come as Germany seeks to reset relations amid a growing trade imbalance. Merz said Germany values its strong economic ties with China, its largest trading partner last year, but stressed the need for fair competition and open dialogue. Merz acknowledged concerns about the relationship, saying cooperation must be improved and made more balanced as German industries face increasing pressure from Chinese competitors. Premier Li urged both countries to work together to defend multilateralism and free trade, in an apparent reference to trade tensions linked to US President Donald Trump. Li said China and Germany, as major global economies, should cooperate to build a more just and fair international economic system. China is presenting itself as a stable economic partner as Europe worries about supply chain vulnerabilities and growing dependence on Chinese manufacturing. The president of the AFL-CIO, Liz Schuler, has sharply criticized US President Donald Trump following his State of the Union address, calling the speech a fever dream. Schuler, who leads the United States' largest labor federation, said the address was disconnected from the economic reality facing working Americans, pointing to rising living costs and job losses. She accused Trump of falsely portraying a golden age for workers, saying his administration had instead favored billionaire executives and major technology companies, while millions of Americans lost access to health care. Despite Trump's policies, Schuler said the labor movement is gaining strength, adding that the number of unionized workers in the United States has reached its highest level in 16 years. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he will become the first Indian leader to address Israel's parliament, the Knesset, as he begins a two-day state visit to Israel. Speaking ahead of his departure on Tuesday, Modi said the address would reflect the strong parliamentary and democratic ties between the two countries. The visit marks his second trip to Israel since 2017. Modi said he is looking forward to talks with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu aimed at strengthening cooperation in areas including science and technology, agriculture, defense, trade, and people-to-people exchanges. He described India and Israel as having a robust and multi-dimensional strategic partnership that has grown significantly in recent years, adding that the two sides would also discuss regional and global issues of shared interest. Modi said he was confident the visit would further deepen ties between the two countries, set new goals for their strategic partnership, and advance a shared vision for a resilient and prosperous future. US President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that the United States has received more than 80 million barrels of oil from Venezuela, following a shift in Washington's policy toward the South American nation. Speaking during his State of the Union address, Trump said the oil had come from what he described as a new partner, Venezuela. The speech marked his first address to Congress since beginning his second term in the White House. Trump also said U.S. oil production has increased by more than 600,000 barrels a day. In January, Trump ordered the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro on allegations including drug trafficking and other crimes. Since then, the administration has eased oil sanctions on Venezuela, aiming to boost energy production.